Hey, it's Craig. I just wanted to let you know that you can listen to Canadian History X early and ad-free on Amazon Music, included with Prime. Greetings and welcome to another episode of Canadian History X. Before I continue, I want to mention that I have two new podcasts out there. The first, From John to Justin, is all about every Prime Minister in Canadian history from Sir John A. Macdonald all the way to Justin Trudeau. It was released last week. And yesterday, I released the first episode of Pucks and Cups, which looks at hockey history from the 1800s to about the 1960s. And my first episode looks at Phantom Joe Malone, one of the greatest goal scorers in NHL history. You can support all my podcasts for just $3 a month. Go to patreon.com/CanadaEHX. You can also support through a donation on my website at CanadaEHX.com. I do this full time, and every dollar you give helps keep the podcasts going.
Since the beginning of time, mankind has been forced to compete for survival. This spirit of competition has reached a pinnacle in the relationship of two best friends who battle against each other. Why? Glory for the winner, humiliation for the loser. This is Kenny versus Spenny.
Way back in 2004, I sat down on my couch with a coffee, I turned on the CBC, and I saw two men trying to stay awake. It was Kenny versus Spenny, and it became one of my favorite shows probably ever. I still watch it. I've watched it twice this year. The premise of the show is simple. A competition, two best friends, and we see who wins. Whoever loses does a humiliation. To show you the true brilliance of this show and why I think it's one of the best comedies ever made, I'm going to play a quick, about minute and a half clip from the episode that I was just talking about, where two friends were just seeing who could stay awake the longest.
I think I'm losing my mind. Like I'm starting to really lose it. What the?
Can you see that? My sleep zapper. If you fall
I thought it was our fire alarm.
No, if your head tilts down, it beeps, so I can't fall asleep.
Just another gimmick.
I can't try me crazy.
Well, take it off. You're making coffee. You're not going to fall asleep while you're making coffee.
This is on so I don't fall asleep, and this is being made so I don't tilt my head down.
No. Other way around. I'm losing it, man. I'm losing my mind. No. I just feel exhausted, like my bowels could go at any time, like just my body's completely fried.
Fall asleep, begging down bed.
Just take it off.
I turned it off.
What did you have what's like your strategy for staying awake?
Not sleeping. It's very simple. This can't be good for us.
Don't!
That's what I'm talking about. That's exactly. Just don't do that kind of stuff. I'm in a clobber you. I cannot deal with this right now.
Ah! You're violent! Can I have it?
There, I'm kind of.
No! Don't hit me! Yeah! Don't! You're using violence. Don't!
I'm really serious. Do not physically touch me right now.
You're physical.
I'm tired.
Can't even rip a sock. Spencer's very irritable, and I'm still okay.
So tired. This could be the longest few hours of my life. I think I hallucinated. I really think I hallucinated. Everything's kind of jittery.
I love this show because it's just fun to watch. I know what's going to happen, I know who's going to do what, but it's still really enjoyable. And many consider it one of the best Canadian television shows of the 21st century. And you can watch all of Kenny vs. Spenny on Kenny Hotz's YouTube channel. Just go to YouTube and search for Kenny Hotz. And just this year, Kenny Hotz and Spencer Rice released Paldemic, which you can watch free on CBC Gem. It's a really great half-hour special all about COVID and these two friends who saw their lives completely change because of this show. So today, I spoke with Kenny Hotz and Spencer Rice. We talked about Paldemic, we talked about the show, and unfortunately my power went out midway through the interview, so I wasn't able to ask them about their upcoming show called Jew Year's Heave, which is going to happen on December 31st. But after this interview, I'll give you all the details for how you can register for this really cool event with two Canadian comedy legends. So let's go right to the interview.
Oh my God, I got on. I can't believe it. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. How are you?
Unfortunately.
Yeah, I downloaded Big Sur on my computer. It's a new operating system. Spenny has Big Sur in his closet. That's what he calls his husband. And I couldn't get on Zoom.
No worries.
I'm in. Installed it.
Well, thank you so much. This is awesome for me. I've been a fan of the show, like I was telling Spenny, since 2004 when you guys debuted. So this is great. Thank you so much. I'll get right to it, right to the questions. I had a few, but first one, how have you both been doing over the past 10 months with COVID and being locked down and not being able to tour and all those things?
Well, Spenny actually is patient zero. He had sex with a bat, not an act like a bat with wings, a baseball bat, and I told him not to do that. He loves plagues. He wants old people to die because he's so broke. He wants their houses to be up for sale for cheap. So Spencer's extremely happy that a lot of people are as destitute and fucked up as he is now. It makes him feel better about himself.
And Spenny, how have you been?
Look at him. How's he being?
Well,
looks like a minion with Asperger's.
I will answer your question, unlike some of us. It's a classic kind of joke, but it really is true that my life changes very little during the pandemic. I'm a quarantine kind of guy anyways. I'm a bit of a germaphobe. Don't like people very much. So my life really hasn't changed. And we've managed to perform, believe it or not. We shot Paldemic during this thing, and then we've done some shows. Sometimes they're capped at 100 or 50. So we've been very lucky.
Spencer's upset that now everybody wears masks in playgrounds. That was his thing.
Jeez. I guess the next question is, so 10 years ago the show ends, and you guys have been doing tours and things like that, but was it kind of nice? Was it weird to kind of get back to that dynamic of just the two of you in a house with a camera crew following you around?
Well, we stopped working together for a very long time, and then we started doing tours about 6 years ago, just because our fan base wouldn't shut up. Like it was such a surprise to us that they grew and wouldn't disappear. To me, doing a new show was kind of like moving into your old bedroom in your parents' house. It's sad and pathetic that we're in a position that we would even have to do that. I'm so fucking mad. My fans were telling me to buy Bitcoin at 28 cents and it's 20K today. If I would have put down 5 G's, I'd have $68 million in the bank right now. So I am so depressed today. And everybody was always sending me, invest in this, invest in that. So I had lost 85 G's by the time all my fans were telling me to buy shit for 10 years. By the time this guy who worked at Bitcoin came to me a decade ago, I was like, oh, fuck, that's some fucking, shitty pixel in Warcraft. Fucking so mad.
Oh, what about you, Spenny? Was it weird to get back to that dynamic of being in the house with the camera crew again?
Yeah, it was mostly because I wasn't really told what was going on, which is sort of par for the course. I was told we were doing a COVID special, and I'm not so sure that's what Kenny was doing. I prepared as best I could, and it's a very bizarre situation, our relationship and our creative ventures. I love doing the live work. I mean, whether it's music or working with Kenny, I just absolutely love the whole lifestyle of it, the lack of intermediaries, and the simplicity of it. And I was thrilled. I think we both were, that it really translated, the dynamic translated into a sort of stand-up act. So who knew?
Spenny is now working as the pirate captain of the Molly Maid cruise ship, and Lisa Loeb wants her glasses back.
I'm getting a lot of I look like a lesbian when I wear the thing, and okay.
You look,
we live in a culture where
Rosie
people
O'Donnell
make fun
with
of
cancer.
the way of hats that I wear, like it's so depressingly juvenile. But whatever. You notice I never change. I do what I want to do, no matter how stupid it is or smart, and I'm proud of that. I don't get bullied.
So the next question, you guys debuted on CBC 16 years ago. For some reason, they put you in the 5:30 slot right before the main news, which didn't make any sense when I was watching it. But then they cancel you. Was it kind of ironic that they bring you back for the Paldemic on CBC Gem, and then are advertising come to CBC Gem and see where it all started, now that you're such a big show and such part of Canadian culture?
Well, what's funny is we found out pretty recently that we never got canceled on the CBC, that our executive producer, John Moranis, felt that we were kind of stagnated there, that they weren't letting us do the types of content we were. We felt kind of hogtied, and the show would evolve better on Showcase. So he managed to pluck the show out of CBC. They actually let it go, and we moved to another broadcaster. So, but we always thought that we got canceled, and we didn't.
I thought so too, because they'd say like the humiliations were right at the end of the show, so that you would be tuning in for the news and like you'd be seeing something happening to you or Spenny, and that's why they canceled you.
What else is funny, which nobody really knows, is that they had a deal with Tom Green, who was popping like a fucking madman. The entire country's watching him. CBC does a pilot with him, and they didn't pick it up. And the second they didn't pick it up, he's on the cover of Rolling Stone. And we were kind of the next guys in line with a pilot that was shot in Los Angeles that had kind of some of the same elements. And they're like, oh shit, we better pick this up. And so thanks to Tom, them fucking that up, we ended up getting the show.
Well, I'm glad they did, because I love it. I've watched it twice this year so far on your channel. I guess Paldemic seems to be doing really well. A lot of people really enjoy it. I really enjoyed it. It was great to see you guys back in that kind of dynamic. Could it spawn maybe a limited series? Is that something you guys would want to do in the future?
Well, I was kind of Weasley, like they did kind of want a COVID special, but I was using it as a pilot for a future series. Will somebody pick it up? Maybe. Nobody picked up KVS 7, which to me was, after 500 million views, and when every episode of Kenny versus Spenny came out, I'd go on Pirate Bay, and like the first 3 pages, like it was fucking insane. It'd be like, 30 Kenny versus Spenny South Park, 10 Kenny versus Spenny this week's Family Guy. I couldn't believe it. I was on ICQ when this started coming out, and I knew way back that this thing was going to be a hit. But there's such a separation between kind of the industry and our audience, because we're so subversive that we were kind of invisible, even though we maintained global kind of fan base. That maybe that's part of our cachet, is that we're so outside the system. If we ever were recognized, we'd probably lose our je ne sais quoi, as they say.
Your street cred, yeah. What about you, Spenny? Would you like to do that? Another limited series?
I like to make. Spenny will suck off Adolf Hitler for a nickel right now, and he's a Jew.
There's some truth to that in terms of
Hitler thing.
The global idea that I'm in it for the money. I wouldn't. Here's the thing. I'm just being brutally honest, because that's what I do. But at the same time, I actually love the work that we do together. both on television and live. So I don't know if I would be saying all that if I didn't really think the work was good and original. And that's the one thing
he would rather us do something else. He doesn't really want to do that, expose our relationship to the world or air our dirty laundry. He wants to, do a game show or a kid show or, something totally like garbage that he can sell to the sheep.
Yeah, that's pretty much true. Yeah, I mean, it's that show, Kenny vs. Spenny, was very hard on both of us. I mean, I don't think people realize that, not just the amount of work, but the humiliating aspect of it, the physical comedy of it, the craziness of it, the showing our real lives part of it. It'd be nice to do something a little more civilized and something where, we maybe make a step towards out of reality towards performing, but it's really not what people want from us. So we just do reality, I guess. I mean, that's all the live show is just us talking about our age-old resentments and arguments and old stories from our past. I mean, it's just real. Mm-hmm. It's easy in that sense, but it's emotionally takes its toll.
I always saw it as like, we're like a bickering couple and I love all the old like Borscht Belt kind of comedians and stuff. And I was always surprised that there wasn't a comedy duo that, just was this angry married couple. And that's how I feel kind of like we are, which is very unique. And to Spenny, he sees it as a bit. I just see it as kind of just us being, lucking into, kind of exposing who we are on camera.
Well, I don't see it as a bit. I think that our real life is a bit.
Yeah.
And we've exposed it. So the last podcast, you didn't understand what I was saying. It's not a bit, but fundamentally it's just what we do is a bit. Who we are, we're a natural comedy duo. Mm-hmm. We don't have to try or write material. We just talk about the reality of our situation, and it serves those same dynamics.
Your glasses, like, did you get that out of an old lady's purse after you mugged her? Well, where did you get those glasses?
Costco.
Okay.
You asked me, I told you. You get three in a pack.
Costco Fort Lauderdale.
You get 3 in a pack. I've probably got, honest to God, 15 of them all around the house in every room because I can't read without them.
Next time, get the ones for men.
He loves it.
Is the fact that the show is still so popular to this point where you're doing Paldemic, Kenny, on your channel? I think most of the episodes have over 1 million views. Is it kind of surprising that at this point you're still talking about it? People are still enjoying it. People still want you to bring it back. You've got your New Year's event coming up that we'll talk about. But is it surprising to you from 16 years ago that this is still going on for you?
Well, I have, I don't know, maybe 60, 70, 80 million views on mine. When I first put it on, I have screen grabs at something like 312 million views just on my channel. And then Entertainment One, our distributor, kind of like did video recognition and pulled all of the videos off of the territories like the US and Canada and all that stuff. So
which Kenny blamed on me.
I dropped from 300 mil to I don't know, maybe 70 mil, but there were so many copycat channels, and I had a friend at YouTube and he did the analytics. He said, you're already past 500 million views on, I don't know, 80 shows, which how can somebody not pick up a series that has 500 million views on fucking YouTube? Nobody cares, but I don't even know if we could do the show again. It was so, crazy, and anti-establishment. But to me, the show was highly moralistic, and we never really exploited anybody but ourselves.
Absolutely, yeah. And it was a great show. It was, for me, it's kind of a comfort show. I watched it twice this year. It's just, what's going to happen, who's going to get humiliated, but you keep watching it, and it was a perfect show for its time, I think. So
well, I've said it before. We ended up kind of hating each other, and the show got better. Whereas in shows like, 2.5 Men or other shows where people start hating each other, the show gets, worse. Mm-hmm. Ours got better. just was organic to the actual content.
What about you, Spenny?
Statement on the level of toxicity in our society, which has been completely fermented by the whole Trump era. And so I'm depressed by the whole thing. I mean, yeah, I like the money, but what they're laughing at, how they're laughing, the literacy of these people, both with English and with comedic literacy, is very low, And, but do I have enough character to not go and grab the money that's there? Absolutely not. So I'm no better than anyone else, but I'll call it as I see it.
I think
we fit the milieu of the internet, kind of, which is a little dark and vicious and angry, a little naughty, but a
little naughty.
Well, listen, it's too close to us. You could obviously explain it better than we can. I love the show. To me, it's the funniest show in the history of television. I think there's more laughs per minute in Kenny versus Spenny than any other show. That's just me. Every single one of those episodes to me is a fucking gem, and I don't even know how we pulled it off looking back at it years later.
You strike me as one of our intelligent fans. I would venture to.
I think you have a lot of intelligent fans who like it for different reasons. I like it because, yes, you two are always going at each other, but there's a perfect dynamic between how Kenny does it, how you do it. But then underneath it, you see these glimpses of your friendship, of the fact that you guys have been friends for so long, that there is, instances of actual caring in there. That, the perfect episode of that is when you guys see who can smoke the most weed, and you guys just have fun. And you even mention in that episode that this is how it used to be before the show and everything. And that's kind of what I like about it, because it's like having a brother. It's like messing around with your brother. You don't always get along, but underneath it all, there is a friendship and a relationship. Yeah. And I think that's what people like about Kenny versus Spenny.
I couldn't agree more. In fact, I think Kenny has a bit of an issue with sincerity, and that side of it. It comes out sometimes. But I totally agree with you. And I will say that I have a skewed view of the fans because they're all channeling Kenny. They all have platforms, so they can abuse the hell out of me on the social media, which, by the way, it doesn't upset me. I have fun with them, but it does give me a skewed view of the kind of person that watches the show. Someone like you probably doesn't go onto the pages and interact, right, with whatever show you like. Mm-hmm. Usually the assholes. So that's that. But
I think there's a troll level in Kenny versus Spenny that, the more shows you watch and the more intelligent you are, the more you kind of understand the context, like you're mentioning. And it's not, about Spenny being a pug rapist or anything. I just do things to push his buttons because conflict is comedy. It's about, a friendship being destroyed by fame and money, and unlike the content of today on TikTok or social media or YouTube, where content creators are doing stuff to actually get fans. We never did anything to get fans. I just did stuff to make, the crew and my brother and our friends laugh. So, So there was no kind of mandate for, let's screw these guys out of money or let's do stuff to make ourselves famous. It was really just a voyeuristic look into our relationship. And I tried to make it as honest and as real as possible without trying to jerk off these cheesers kind of thing. Where and now just the tabs on YouTube when you're like looking at what to watch and guys are like, oh, $50 burger versus $200. Oh, my Domino's. It's so offensive to me that it's so plastic and fucking fake. And it's so obvious. Everyone's doing everything in their power to just get views. And none of that existed in our show. Even now, look, I never sold merch. I don't have a podcast. I have a 250,000 fans on fucking YouTube. I don't post any videos. It's like I'm just don't really give a shit. So
where I want to squeeze every penny out of this.
Yeah.
And I think I deserve it because I've been kind of, it's funny because you're talking about like Kenny, he's like this with everybody. I mean, it's hyperactive with me, obviously, but it's just who Kenny is, and I love him for it. But there's all these other people that are channeling him, and you have to keep in mind we're coming in out of an era where it was, Biden's a pedo, and COVID doesn't exist. So I'm not so sure sometimes that a lot of these people, they may not believe that I rape pugs, but they might believe some of the other stuff he says. So I'm on a very sort of paranoid path with this stuff. So I just want to get paid, make good content.
My job is to make Spenny the most cringy Spenny he could possibly be. That's my job. My job is to make him funny. So that's what I do. Some people misconstrue it, and I go to a bar and they're like, "Hey Ken, we bought 10 B-52s for you and my friend. Let's see who can drink more." It's like, I don't want to drink fucking B-52s. I didn't want to really smoke weed. I didn't really want to drink beer. We didn't really enjoy it. But that's part of it because the audience wants to see us suffer, and that's the gladiator ring. And we understood that. So, and the more fans we got, the more focused we got on, being ourselves and trying to entertain them, and that kind of
it's so organic because our fathers were friends. So Kenny and I were doing versions of what Kenny versus Spenny was before we ever even had an inkling that this would happen.
Just because our friends.
Very natural.
I hope you enjoyed that interview with Kenny and Spenny, and if you did, please leave a rating and review. But first, I want to tell you about Kenny and Spenny Live Online Jew Year's Eve. This is a special event where Kenny and Spenny are going to kick away 2020 and bring in 2021 through an interactive live event you can watch anywhere in the world. Tickets are $10 to $75. It happens on December 31st, obviously, and it begins at 3 p.m. Eastern, continuing until 5 p.m. Eastern. I really encourage you to check it out. It seems like it'll be a great time, and I will put the link for how you can register in my show notes. So you just got to click there, and you can register using your credit card and PayPal. If you want to reach me, you can. Just go to craig@canadaehx.com. You can also visit my website where you'll find hundreds of articles on Canada's history, as well as all my podcast episodes. Just go to canadaehx.com. In addition, you can support the podcast like I said. Just go to patreon.com/CanadaEHX. Just like all of these wonderful patrons have. Phil Maynard, Pamela Elder, Shannon Marshall, Clinton Martinez, Dimitri Chauve, Aaron O'Hara Myers, Robert Dunseith, Todd Casey, Catherine Roy, Luke S., Vic Hedges, JP Bear, Jason Hall, Spencer M., and Iris Gray. You can find us on Facebook. Just go to facebook.com/CanadianHistoryX. You can find me on Twitter. My handle is Craig Baird, CraigBaird. And you can find me on Instagram. Just search for Bairdo37. Thanks, and we'll see you again next time.